Hello and welcome to the first instalment of Heather's Hacks at Amalgamingle. Those of you that watch our videos and follow this channel will soon come to learn that I'll be talking about Ni No Kuni, Assassin's Creed and the pre-Breath of the Wild Zelda games quite a lot. The same way Craig will gush about Skyrim, Crash and Mass Effect in his own videos, but in this video I want to focus on one of the best games I've come across in a long time, Ni No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. There's a lot of cogs turning throughout this game, and some of the things that I've learnt may go a long way towards making your first playthrough a better experience, and maybe help solve some issues you might be encountering, such as a constantly depleting MP bar perhaps, feeling the grind due to not getting substantial battling XP. Keep watching. So here we go, here's 6 things I wish I knew before playing Ni No Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. So first of all, the best piece of advice I can give you is to farm and hoard items to death right from the start. You're given a bottomless bag with no carry capacity as far as I'm aware, so be sure to take full advantage of that. A lot of resources are later poured into familiar treats and alchemy in order to level up familiars, create stronger gear and create items to restore health and magic, which make life a lot easier. One exploit in this game is that when foraging, items respawn in the exact same location in the world after a certain amount of time has passed, so you can keep returning to that spot to stock up on particular items. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the case with Revenant Kingdom, they must have gotten wise to it. So whenever you see a twinkle out in the field, it is worth detouring for a few seconds to collect them all every time. Foraging's not the only place resources and money can be found. They can be bought, alchemised, won in battles, found in pots in towns, and even stolen from familiars during battle using Swain's mugshot ability. There's also 100 hidden chests located around the world, for which there's a trophy for finding all of them. So be sure to use the chart chests and seek fortune spells regularly, using Springlock spell on locked chests when you progress further into the game. Try not to sell items for money, as tempting as it might be, unless you're 100% sure that item is useless. Or, if you're trying to get the 500,000 Gilder trophy, be sure to save the game before selling everything, then reloading that save after receiving the trophy, and boom, it's as if it never happened, a consequence-free reward. The final thing I will say regarding hoarding is that it's worth visiting Old Father Oak regularly, as he often gives you items to help you in the game.
The pure-hearted one.
My second tip is to utilise alchemy to create items that restore a larger amount of MP. Forget about iced coffee that only restores 10 MP and strong coffee that only restores 30 MP. You'll soon learn quite early in the game that they just aren't worth it. As you level up and your MP capacity increases. By the end of my game, all my characters were maxed out at level 99 and their magic meters were around 450 MP, so items that restored 10 and 30 MP became pretty much useless. The best thing to do is to stock up on creamy milk, slumber knot leaves, fog drops and strong coffee to alchemise cappuccinos, which restores 70 MP, and espressos that restore 150 MP. When you level up and progress far enough into the game to have acquired Tengri as a means of transport, you can even steal Nostrum from Ulks. Ulks are oversized familiars you can see towering over trees out in the north of the rolling hills and the Summerlands. It used to be so frustrating how stingy the game seemed to be when it came to items that restored MP, particularly when considering how reliant the combat is on magic, because even familiars share your HP and MP, and their abilities cost MP. And I remember thinking there has to be a gamer hack I'm not aware of, and there is. It's called Nostrum. Nostrum fully restores your MP. The moment I found that out, I spent a great deal of time battling Ulks and stockpiling it for a rainy day. It's 100% worth doing, trust me. Some of the later spells take up quite a bit of MP. So, the third thing I wish I knew before my first playthrough is that the minute you get the boat, do not head in the direction of Hamelin. If you thought the genie was a huge challenge in Castaway Cove, then I can almost guarantee you are underleveled for what lies ahead, due to the pitiful XP you gain from battling the Summerlands familiars. So, the first thing you should do is turn that boat around in the opposite direction of where the game wants you to sail to avoid a boss battle, and follow the Summerlands coastline all the way around until you reach Swan Island. Now, this island is special because it's home to familiars called Tokos. Battling each Toko gives you somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 XP each time. You can run up and down this island for as long as you desire to farm the XP, and although they appear less frequently than most familiars, you'll spend a lot less time grinding waiting for Tokos to arrive than you would backtracking and facing familiars with significantly lower XP rewards. Later in the game, Tokos can be found on the route to Perdida, which grant around 9,000 XP each time, and Toko Colds are located in the Ivory Tower, which award around 29,000 XP. These Toko Colds are very rare. It's better to go for the Tokos because they appear more often. These breeds are very skittish and fast, so it's wise to approach them from behind or use the Veil spell to hide yourself when you approach them. Also, try to kill them in 1 or 2 hits during battle, otherwise they will flee and you'll lose the XP. Okay, so this one kind of goes without saying, especially if you're a notorious side quester like myself who ignores the main story to complete random tasks like locating a man's diary 4 times, or spending hours searching for different coloured frogs in Final Fantasy 15. The world may be coming to an end, but I'll get to that eventually. My obsession with completing side quests came in handy with Ni No Kuni, because rather than award XP, side quests gain you merit stamps. Merit stamps go towards unlocking merit awards, known in other games as skill or ability points. Side quests and bounty hunts can be found in Swift Solutions in every town. The most useful skills increase XP gains from battling, increase walking and sailing speed, add 100 HP and MP to Oliver's stats, and increase the likelihood of getting HP and MP restoring limbs in battle, for which there's a trophy for collecting 2,000. So it's important to complete all side quests and bounty hunts in each town as soon as they become available in order to collect merit stamps and unlock these essential skills that will aid you in your journey. Furthermore, restoring attributes to the broken-hearted is a way to gain easy stamps, and it's always worth speaking to Horace to try and solve his riddles in every major town. The whole familiars system in this game takes some getting used to, particularly if your brain is already trained by Pokemon and you have to unlearn certain things. There are 4 types of familiars: Sun, Moon, Star and Planet, and each one has a corresponding jumbo drop that are required to metamorph a familiar into a better version of itself, with more powerful tricks, higher stats and abilities. Familiars level up the same way Oliver does. However, once a familiar has reached a certain level, the game will tell you that it's ready to metamorph into its next level. Don't. Before metamorphing, wait until the familiar is maxed out to its highest level and ensure you've unlocked all ability slots. Also, pay close attention to the Friends and Familiars section of the menu, as familiars should be fed treats to increase their stats, familiarity and growth limit so that when you do metamorph, the familiar retains higher stats than it normally would when it reverts to level 1 of its next stage, and the stats significantly drop. Don't feel like your hard work levelling up the familiar was pointless though. It does suck that metamorphing means it drops to level 1, but when you reach the level you were at before, you will find the familiar is much more powerful than before. Plus, if you seek out Tokos, like I mentioned earlier, you'll find levelling up is much less of a grind. Alchemical formulas exist showing how to create more powerful treats to speed up growth and jumbo drops using corresponding crystals.
Ouch! That was a mean trick.
And the stronger you get, the harder he's gonna hit as well.
Wow.
The final thing I really wish I knew before playing Ni No Kuni was to always be prepared for a surprise boss battle. The amount of times boss battles came out of nowhere was insane, and I was rarely prepared for them. I'll mention a few to look out for. The first one is when you go to Alma Moon in the Shimmering Sands and meet the great sage Rashad and his daughter Esther. After speaking to them, you're supposed to head back to Motorville to find and speak to Esther's soulmate, and it's in Motorville that you'll encounter your first nightmare you have to fight. The first time I faced this nightmare, it wiped the floor with me, because the game had been a reasonably easy fly-through up until this point, so I hadn't felt the need to overlevel. But it's wise to head back out to the desert after speaking to Rashad and Esther to level up a little and stock up on items that restore MP before heading to Motorville. Also, little bonus tip while you're in the Shimmering Sands, when you can tame familiars, go back outside and catch a sunshine to store in the familiar retreat. You'll thank me later. Here are some moments you should definitely make sure you're prepared for when you get to Castaway Cove, before you enter Mummy's tummy at the fairground. When you get your first boat, again, do what I advised earlier and go to Swan Island to fight Tokos instead. And level up like you've never leveled up before when you get to Hammerlin, because this is where you'll encounter the notorious Porco Grosso. This caught me completely off guard, and the difficulty spike hit me hard. I wasn't aware of the Toko XP farming exploit in my first playthroughs, so I had to grind, go back in for another go, get my ass handed to me a second time, then go back out and grind again and repeat this process until I was strong enough for my magic to even make a dent in this metal machine. I eventually won by spamming the pulse spell over and over again, as it was the strongest weapon in my arsenal at this point. And his attack powers are ridiculous. You have to be very quick on the draw to defend against them and learn the timing of each move so that your defense doesn't run out before he has even performed the move. But follow my advice and you'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine, don't worry. Farming XP from Tokos and alchemise cappuccinos and espressos for MP until you can take on Ulks for farming Nostrum are the most valuable tips I can give you in this game. So there we go, there's 6 things I wish I knew before playing Ni No Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. So I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I also hope you're enjoying your first playthrough as much as I did, because this game is just fantastic, especially once you've learnt the things I've just gone over. I'm currently in the process of doing a video for Ni No Kuni Revenant Kingdom as well, so if you want to see that then do subscribe to be notified when that video drops. But in the meantime, feel free to comment if you have any questions about any of the games, and I'll gladly help where I can. This has been Heather's Hacks at Amalgamingle, and I'll catch you next time in Evermore. Thanks for watching.